Hi, this is Carl Bimshaw with a quick video for people who feel like they've lost direction or sense of direction. This can apply to you yourself. This can apply to you if you're a writer and you're feeling block, which we can talk about that another time, but this is how to get through some writer's block. This is if you're leading an organization. This is if you're a sales rep dealing with your customers. So, or even your sales team. So direction, well, north, south, east, west. We know that, right? Here's some things that we can be sure of. The compass faces north almost all the time. A little bit off the true north. We'll talk about that in a second. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. That's where it is where I am. Not sure where it is with you, but pretty sure that's going to be what the case is. So think about it this way. Never eat soggy waffles. Remember that? Nothing to do with what we're talking about. Okay, so your north. North is your values, your true values, not your situational values. It's a little sad thing about humans, but we have our values, but then if something looks a little bit more fun, we make a little excuse, what's one going to do, that type of thing. No, no, no. These are your true values, your true north. This is the thing that is unchanging. Hopefully you've got them prioritized, 1 through 4. This is the most important value, because, values conflict sometimes. If you need help with that, I've got a resource that can help you with that. 400 values, and you narrow it down to your top 4. But you probably know what your values are. What if you're a writer? Think about your character, your main character, or your nemesis. What are their values? What's important to them? What's driving them? What about with your customers? If you're a sales rep or a customer service rep, what about your customers? Do you know what your customers' number 1 value is, number 2 value? What if you're an entrepreneur leading your company? Do you know what your company's values are, your division's values are? You ought to. Let's go to the east. That's where the sun rises, right? Well, what wakes you up in the morning? What is your motivating purpose? What is it that gets you going? Now, sometimes this can be very noble. You're going to save the world. Sometimes it can be you need a paycheck. But it's the purpose, the driving purpose. So what's your driving purpose? What gets you up in the morning? What gets you going? Think a little bit beyond the alarm clock. It's something that actually gets you out of bed and gets you moving. Okay? What if it's you're a writer? What's your character, your main character's purpose? What's their motivation? What is their motivating purpose? What are they doing? What about your customer? What drives them forward? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? What about your company? What do you want to be doing every single day to better serve the market or your customers? But think about the South. South, a little bit more relaxing. It's where the sun shows up most of the time. So here's where you renew. Right? What are you doing to renew yourself? How do you celebrate? How do you recapture your spirit? Okay? So where do you go to kind of rejuvenate? What's important to you to kind of re-energize yourself? If you're a writer, what about your characters? What's important to your characters? Where do they find their strength? Where do they find their motivation? Where do they renew that spirit? What about your customers? If they're having a tough time, where do they go for their certainty? Where do they renew? But you're running a business, how do you celebrate your successes? Where do you get your new ideas? Where do you regenerate? Where is that place? Back to the West, well, when the sun sets and we dream at night, what do you dream about? That's your vision, right? You're sitting there at the end of the day and you're thinking about, well, if only things could be better, or this is what I want to do next. It's your vision that takes you there. So you want to be thinking about, what is your vision? And if you're a writer, where does your character want to go? What is their vision? Where do they desire to end up? Or what do they want to have achieved? Same thing, if you're a sales rep, what's with your customers? What do they desire? What do they want to have to achieve? If you're running a company, well, a lot of times you start with the vision, and that's great. You got to have that vision. It's bigger than your purpose. Your purpose is your tactical day-to-day, this is what I'm doing. The vision, bigger picture. It's your big dreams. So there's your direction. Your north, your east, your south, your west. You have those, you have some certainty, then you know where you are. You haven't lost your direction. You might not know where you're going. You might not know what vehicle you're going to take to get there. That's a different issue. I can help you with that if you'd like. But for right now, go find your direction.